Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and it's National Matchmaker Day. Oh yeah, we're talking all about matchmaking with the perfect ladies because it's hard out here trying to date. You're using apps, you're going to the bars, maybe there's an arranged marriage and it ain't arranging right. I know, we gotta get into it. But first, I need a drink in my hand and we've got Juben Shaw in the building. What is this?
This is gonna be called Corazón de Tigre. And it's gonna be a little smoky, has a little spice to it, you know, just like a proper affection.
A proper affection. All right, this is perfect for our conversation tonight. And I know the ladies are ready to get into it. So, let's go.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's dive into it with my ladies on the couch. We've got Aparna Shewakramani, first time here in the studio. You know her as an author of She's Unlikable, okay? And as the breakout star of Indian Matchmaking. We've got associate matchmaker Sloan Snyder from Vivid Relationships. And Dr. Viviana Coles, you know her, sex and relationship therapist who just launched Vivid Relationships. All right, before we dive into matchmaking, which obviously the three of you know all about, we sent our girl Jen out on the streets to ask people if they would be down to be put into a matchmaking situation. Let's see.
Hey Carolina, it's your girl and we're back out here downtown on these streets talking to the peeps and we got a bunch of questions to ask them. You're gonna wanna hear these answers. Let's go talk to them. Would you be willing to have a matchmaker or match made for marriage? Would you have somebody arrange a marriage for you?
No.
You would wanna know the person before tying the knot?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but look, I'm a daredevil, so I'll risk it. I want to see, you know, like, because you never.
He say he a daredevil. He was like, look.
Risky, like,
Yeah.
you never know, like, they could find me one pretty little
Man, they could be the
shorty,
best thing in the world. They could be the best thing in the world.
A relationship or a marriage?
Marriage mostly.
No, ma'am.
I got a girlfriend right now, so no.
Oh, well, you know, he's already locked down. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
I found love.
Oh, that's it.
It's kind of hard to answer right now. My fiance might be watching this.
Personally, no. I just feel like there's certain things I expect from my relationships and I would want to make sure that they are fitting all my standards before I get into it.
She's like, I'm not trying to be out here with these strangers marrying everybody, right?
Exactly.
She's married.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about that. She's already got her match.
Yes.
Right, okay.
90 Day Fiance. Like,
Yeah,
Or what is the Married at First Sight?
Right.
I didn't say I would do that.
because there's still people out there that's doing
I
it.
said I would do that
Right.
before I got married.
Okay.
All right, matchmaking, arranged marriages, two different things, kind of the same thing too, though. All right, so matchmaking, what exactly goes into it?
You've done it.
Well,
You've lived it.
Someone did it for me.
Yes.
I just,
Tried.
Someone valiantly tried to find me a match. And I thought it was an interesting process. I learned definitely what I don't want. You know, matchmakers have to listen to you. I think that's actually the number one thing I walked away with. Well, and they have to be on your team.
Right, especially because you're the one seeking them for the service.
It's a service. I think people forget that. Like, it's a service-based industry, and they are providing me with the service. I'm the client. And I think a lot of matchmakers, or well, actually the only one I've worked with, forgot that.
Yeah. So for people who didn't watch Indian Matchmaking, what was the show about? What did you go through?
So there was one matchmaker who was based out of India, and she was looking to help 7 individuals find their husband or wife. I was one of the 7, and we taped here in Houston in season 1. It was really fun. And basically, she would present me with men, and I think I went on dates with 6 different men in the first season, and then 1 man in season 2. But season 2 is when I went rogue and said,
She really did, though.
I was like, I'm going to be my own matchmaker and get my friends and family involved because I'm South Asian and that's very common. Matchmakers are our friends and our family. Like, we often don't need to hire someone. We've got the posse around us.
Right. So with Vivid Relationships, what exactly are you offering here? Is this ready to be launched or what is it?
It's launched. We're out there. I will say it's non-traditional matchmaking because we are all relationship therapists. Our day jobs is working with couples who are experiencing issues with compatibility, communication, all those things. So we're trying to reverse engineer healthy relationships with all of our expertise as actual couples therapists. That said, Vivid Relationships is all about trying to get you to know everything that you need to know about yourself in order to then know who you should stay away from and who you should really be drawn towards it's a very practical, realistic approach. It's not all about what you want, because sometimes you think you want something and it's not at all what you need going forward.
But I feel like that there's got to be a balance, right? Because if Aparna approaches and she's like, well, I definitely need this, and you don't paint it in a way where it's like, listen, this is how you've been living your life, and actually paint it out for her, and she definitely wants this as a need, then it doesn't match up, because you got to listen. Right?
Exactly. So this is where we say, okay, why do you think you need this? What is it that you're living your life like that you need that? If you can basically prove to yourself and to us that this need is not just a want, of course we're gonna listen. That's huge. It's when people have these really weird standards, and we hear them all the time.
Like what? What, Sloan? What are you hearing?
Every woman ever saying like 6 foot and above, hear that one all the time. And as a tall woman, I'm like, you're stealing the tall lady. So please give us a chance. But yeah, I mean, if all your qualities are tall, brown hair, blue eyes, are those needs or are those preferences? Like maybe you need to reflect on that, especially if your dating experience hasn't gone well in the past. Like we're trying to really provide a program that helps people come to those realizations.
Right. So why should people go for matchmaking versus like the apps, or, you know, hoping to find somebody at a bar or at the museum, or wherever people find potential partners?
The grocery store. I don't know.
Well, I can't say.
Actually, before you answer that, we're gonna send things to break, and you stay right there, because listen, you want to hear these answers, right? I mean, I know I do. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about matchmaking because it's National Matchmaker Day. We've got Aparna Shewak-Kermani, we've got Sloan Snyder, and we've got Dr. Viviana Coles. All right, so before we went to break, I was asking, why would someone choose matchmaking over the apps, over the grocery store, over the bar?
Well, I can't speak to all matchmaking because ours is very non-traditional. What we're trying to do is figure out exactly what it is we think as experts you need and discuss that. It's very collaborative, which isn't often the case with matchmaking that's traditional, or even with traditional dating apps. Finding something that really works for you long-term is what we're all about.
Right. And Aparna, when we spoke last time, even though you had the experience you did on Indian matchmaking, you were like, I still believe in matchmaking. And then you went and ventured with a digital newspaper to do it for, what was it, like 600 people? Or?
Yeah, 600 people applied. We like put out right around season 2, so August last year. We were like, hey, I didn't have the best experience matchmaking. Why don't I try this myself? I think I've learned a lot about what I would want a matchmaker to be like, and let me see if I can do that for people, emulate that for people. So we just put it out as like, not a joke, but like kind of like a lighthearted thing, and like hundreds of applications came in, and we were like, wow, okay. So we had 600, and we were like, let's try to make 25 couples out of this. And it was really cool because we tried to be inclusive. So the show I was on was very, you know, it was all heterosexual people, it was all South Asian people, it was all, and so we were like, let's just try something that, you know, gives people more of an option to say their preferences, and to identify themselves as who they, you know, want to identify as. And it was a really fun process. We matched people all over Canada and America and England. And I think that a few of them kind of worked for a bit. We stopped getting updates. So who knows if some of them are still together. But for about 3 to 6 months, we were getting some updates that were quite positive.
Yeah, and do you feel like you were able to provide more than what you received during the show?
Yes, but I also asked a lot more questions that weren't asked of me. And I think that's what you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Like that collaboration is so important. And I needed to get information from them about what was so important to them. Like that thing you were talking about, like the need versus the want. And I think once we pulled that out, we were able to set people up more on their values than 6 foot tall and brown eyes.
Right. And Sloan, is part of the Vivid Relationships journey into matchmaking, you have a program of like, let's figure you out first before you even dive into the matchmaking, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it is more intensive than what I've heard in the past of like, you know, I've had friends and family that have used matchmakers, and it is more of like a kind of a mill of people that they already have on hand to kind of toss at you like 2 or 3 matches a month. Whereas this, we're really trying to get to know you. We're going through very in-depth questionnaires. We're spending time with you talking about why those are needs. And I feel like to have someone along that journey with you that you can tell cares about who you find, that's unique. And people are trying to find unique ways to date these days that are not what everyone else is doing, because that might not have been successful for them in the past.
I know, it's just so hard, right?
It's really hard. I've been married for 16 years. I feel for people, especially for women 35 plus who have these amazing lives, who are so proud of what they've created, it can be scary to think about bringing anyone into that. And so we're very conscious of that, of anybody who's coming into this, because we do accept applications. This isn't a sign up. We want to make sure that if you need therapy, not matchmaking, get the therapy. We believe in it. We're therapists. We get it.
Right.
So we'll send you to do that. Maybe get a little permission slip from your therapist to then move on. But it's just so important for us to really get to know who you are, and you to get to know who you are, because look, beyond this, you might be dating on the apps. At least do it intentionally.
And are you guys finding that it's not just women 35 plus?
No.
It's also gay couples, lesbian couples, pansexuals, and beyond that are looking?
Absolutely. And divorcees, so many people concerned, like I've been married before, I have 3 kids, who's gonna want this, need this? Like, that's real relationships. Plenty of people are too scared to get back out there, and this is an opportunity for them.
And I think that because we work with so many clients who have those like real world issues that maybe aren't as attractive online on black and white in writing, we can then do that work for them, and it's not as scary. A lot of them are just they're very brave, but they're scared.
Yeah. Were you scared, Aparna?
I naively was not, and I should have been. I tell people that now. I'm like, I should have been more scared. I was just so hopeful. You know, I had tried, the singles table at the wedding. I had tried getting my friends to set me up. I tried every dating app. I had tried a matchmaker, and she had actually she had rejected me. I had applied to a matchmaker, and I got rejected. Wow. And so I actually had not tried matchmaking, but I had applied. I had the interest. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. This was all meant to be that I would get a matchmaker. She's supposed to be really good. Sure, I have to do some documentary for it, but whatever.
Oh,
Hey,
what a
you're
ride.
brave.
But would you do it again?
I don't know. People want me to say yes all the time, and I was like, I don't know. If I knew what I knew today,
You'd think twice.
I would think twice.
Good thing twice. Oh, well, cheers, ladies. Thank you so much. Happy National Matchmaker Day to y'all.
Yes.
All right, you stay right there, because coming up next, there's actually an app, 6 Degrees. We're talking to the co-founder coming up next about how this app might, help you find love. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about matchmaking, and apparently there's an app that helps you do that. We've got the co-founder and CEO, Chelsea Nichols, here of 6 Degrees. What exactly is 6 Degrees?
6 Degrees is an app that allows singles to create private dating profiles. So no more swiping, no more information being on Front Street, and you can share your private profiles, QR code, or URL with a friend or family member. And then when they're out and about, whether they're at a restaurant or the grocery store, at their church, and they see a handsome or beautiful woman or man, they can walk up to them and ask a few fact-finding questions to, pre-qualify them, make sure that there is some synergy there. Okay. And then they can share your private profile with that individual, and they can see your bio, they can see your photos, and they can connect with you via the app.
Okay, so I'm out.
Yep.
I got some single primas, right?
Yes.
They've been looking for love. So if I get this profile for them, and I meet Tom, I'm like, oh, Tom would be perfect for my girl, Sara.
Yes.
I ask him a few questions.
Hopefully she has, primed you and prepped you for what she's looking for. And because she's your cousin, you already have the intel. You know her dating history, you know what she's been through, you know where she's going. And so that makes you a really good candidate to be able to go out into the world and source a potential connection.
So how'd you come up with this?
Well, I have a plethora of single friends that are amazing, educated, and they're just not really interested in dating online, and they prefer to date a little bit more old-fashioned. And so I said, well, what about if we created an app that allowed you to still utilize technology to meet people, but we created it so that it was private, it's discreet, and it eliminates the catfishing, the stranger danger, all the different ills within the dating apps.
Right, because instead you're putting just the profile on the thing. Yep. You're having somebody else do the digging.
The actual sharing.
So I know this ain't a catfish because I literally met Tom in real life.
I know he's employed. I know he's not married.
At least based on what he tells me, right?
Based on what he tells you. And it could even be that your friend or family member knows someone intimately. Maybe it's a coworker or someone that has been on the radar, and they just are now realizing, oh wait, that person is single. And now I have, let's say, your cousin's profile, and it gives you an opportunity to make that connection, but in a more seamless, more conventional way. So with the profile, you're not having to go through your photo album and find your cousin's photo or figure out, okay, well, what information should I share with him, or should I give him her phone number? All the information is in the profile. It's a clean, seamless transfer of information. And if he's interested, he can just tap accept on the profile.
Wow, so simple.
Simple. I believe that this app creates an opportunity for singles to be vulnerable. I found that oftentimes people will ask for help with, finding a job, or, oh, I'm going to Italy, where should I stay? But when it comes to actually asking for help within their love life, they oftentimes are a bit more reserved. And so we're saying, hey, we know singles need help. We know that there are, a plethora of, single men and women, good single men and women all around us.
There's a plethora of them? Are you
Yes,
sure?
I believe it.
Are you sure? Because people out here are like, oh my God, where are they? Where are they?
Well, I believe that they may not necessarily be on the apps, but they're in the grocery stores, they're at church. And I feel like singles nowadays, in order to be successful, you need to adopt an abundance mindset when you're dating. And that's not to operate from a space of lack or, scarcity or fear, but believe that the love that you seek and deserve is actually out there.
So for people who are interested and they want to find the 6 Degrees app and get into it, how can they find it?
They can go to 6degrees.co. So that's the number 6, DGRS.co, and they can create their private profile and get started today.
And then you just share your profile with your friends and family
Share
that
it with
you
your
trust.
friends and family that you trust.
And that know you.
And that know you and that you feel comfortable talking to and sharing specifically what's on your heart and what you desire. And then they are now armed to go out into the world to begin sourcing potential matches for you.
Is there a cost?
There is a cost. So your first connection is free. And then we have a tiered membership. The first 3 connections are $25 a month. And then if you think, you know what, I want to jump right on into the deep end, you can get unlimited connections for $50 a month.
Okay, all right. Well, cheers, boo.
Cheers.
To 6 Degrees.
6 degrees.
All right, well, coming up next, I'm going to see how to make this corazón de tigre with my guy Juben. Because apparently it's fierce on the outside and soft on the inside, the way matchmaking and love is. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking about matchmaking, but I'm behind the bar now with my guy Juben Shaw, who's here to do what?
Back blast off!
Yes. All right, I'm very nervous because you're making me do all the hard work today, but me and this drink are a match made in heaven, okay?
Absolutely.
So, what's in this corazón de tigre?
So corazón de tigre essentially means tiger of the heart. And so we're going to be using an artisanal mezcal. This is Ojo de Tigre from Puebla and from Oaxaca. And we're also going to be using a chile poblano liqueur. There's going to be a little spice to it.
Okay, Juben, you in this Spanish accent. Hold up. Tell me about you. Bar consultant. All right, came out swinging with this Spanish accent. Where'd you learn your Spanish, boo-boo?
Learned it in Texas. Been in Texas for 20 years now. So, I mean, you either learn or go move somewhere else.
Okay, you heard. Do you have a match?
No, I'm still single.
Oh, so we gotta get you a match made. All right, keep talking to me. All right.
So let's start making it.
Okay.
So we're gonna be using 1.5 ounces of the Ojo de Tigre mezcal.
Okay.
And then next one is gonna be the chile poblano liqueur. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of it.
1/2 ounce is that first line? Look at me, y'all. Okay. With it. Oh.
You like it spicy.
Y'all can't see it, but it was a little much.
Next up is gonna be the syrup, the prickly pear syrup from Liquid Alchemist. So it's gonna be 1/2 ounce of that as well.
Okay, hopefully I nailed this one. Aye, okay.
Nice.
I prefer it a little spicier.
Yeah. And then we're just gonna finish off with a little bit of lime juice. So it's gonna be 1 ounce of lime juice to kind of balance off the sweetness from
1
the
ounce is the top of this, to balance it.
whole top. There you go.
All right.
And then just for a little addedness, we're gonna add 2 dashes of the smoked chili.
Listo. 1, 2.
Perfect.
All right.
Fill it up with ice. And
Okay.
let's get shaken.
Nice. All right. During the break, Juben, you showed me how to properly take this apart. So hopefully I can actually take this apart.
You got this.
How long? Until my hand is freezing?
Until your hand's freezing.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. Oh, almost.
Hold on. Hold on.
There you go. You got this? Like one more time. There you go.
And you already got that beautiful block of ice.
Yeah, we got a nice clear block of ice from Big Ice HTX. They were kind enough to get us some ice. Ooh. And then we're gonna top it off, or we're gonna garnish it with unripened prickly pear. That's all you. We're gonna take a slice.
This is prickly pear.
Yeah.
Hold up, I've never seen this. That's prickly pear, that's what it looks like. You know you've had so many flavors of prickly pear because it's in season and whatnot. Hold on, I already know this is delicious, but I need you to do the straw test if you don't mind.
Oh, you already know. This is great. Has a nice spice to it. We got that smokiness. This is wonderful. I think you'll like it.
Okay, all right, we'll see. All right, matchmakers assemble!
Hey!
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Vivid Matchmaking is ready for y'all, and 6 Degrees. Go on and download it. Juben, are you down to be match-made?
I am down to be match-made. It's
right.
my time.
It's his time. All right, well, cheers to y'all. Have a great night. And if you need to find, some love, maybe matchmaking is for you. We'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.